So we're fixing our hoops that were falling down. Hose that, I don't know, I found in one of the storage rooms. I guess it's like a pipe for some building or something. I'm not exactly sure. But we had it, we used it. And 1 second. And then here also we added one. So it's falling down, and then we're just packing it with sand to hold it in tight. And we are almost finished setting up the back side of the garden. We have sunflowers and potatoes are gonna go, sweet potatoes will go in there, potatoes will go here, and more sunflowers will go against our passion fruit in the back. Tomato planting. That is what we're doing this afternoon. How are we planting the tomatoes? Let me show you. This is our tray of tomatoes. Pick one up. This is my tomato. Now I'm going to take off all the bottom leaves. Even this one. This is what I'm going to leave. Just this. And I'm going to bury the tomato till here in the earth. And roots will come from all this. Roots will grow. So that we'll have a very, very strong plant. That's our way of planting tomatoes. Okay, so what do we have here is our basil from the greenhouse. They're going to go in. Where are they going next to? So basil has a very strong aroma, and it also, besides for tasting delicious, it also, a lot of the bugs and things don't like strong aromas. So we're going to plant it next to our tomatoes. These are the tomatoes, and this side are the tomatoes. They're going to grow up. We're going to catch them. We'll show you when we need to stake them up. And I'm just going to put basil in. So you hold the camera and you show them. Okay, so according to halacha, we said we need 15 centimeters separation. And I'm not sure with herbs or not, but we're going to do it just in case. So 15, and then we're going to plant here. We're going to plant the basil right here. Gonna move it. We put some mulch. We covered the earth with a thin mulch. See, this is a coarse material. We covered the earth. The boys covered the earth with it because the earth does not like to be uncovered. She's very, very modest. Also in Hebrew, that earth is in a female connotation, Adama, which is a female connotation, and she likes to be covered at all times, very modest. So I'm going to stick in here some basil, remove the mulch, stick it in, and then return the mulch. Okay. Some of them are really close together. They came up like 2 or 3 close together. So if I can separate it easily, then I will. And if not, I'll just plant them 2 together like this in a bunch. Mulching also helps in conserving water. Because if you're mulching your soil, you're having a thick layer of wood chips, which is a great mulch. Straw is a good mulch. And you cover it so then all the moisture stays in the soil and the mulch keeps the moisture in. So for places don't have so much rain and you want to conserve water, that's a great solution. If you notice, the tomatoes have a pattern, and that's the pattern I like to plant in. I like to plant 1, 2, and 3 in triangles, sets of triangles, so that the sun doesn't block. If I do 1 here and 1 here, the sun can block each other. This way, when it's done in triangles, everyone can get its space and its sun. It's a space-saving solution. So I'm just going to go around plant the basil in between. The roly-polies, I'm going to put the potatoes down the middle because these potatoes have been working amazing. I come in the morning, turn them over, and I'll always find the roly-polies inside, and then I can just take them out. So it's great, and I'm going to do it more with the other one, with the tomatoes as well. I'll show you how I soak the feed. This I keep topped off with water at all times, just in case I need. So I have a bucket here, fill it with water. I just fill it up, pour it in the water, and I leave this to soak minimum overnight, maximum 3 days. If you soak it more than 3 days, it's more like fermenting, and already you have to know what you're doing. So usually I have like a whole bunch of buckets and I fill up a few, but I'm so busy with other things, I just do one at a time. Meanwhile, and we have a surprise in here. We have Miss Fierce. Can someone please decide on a name? I know, Miss Fierce, but we want to see if your chickies are starting to be born. They're supposed to be born any day. But we have a new addition to the broody mamas. We have Miss Lucky here. Lucky. After all that it took to get her, to cut her wings, she is now one broody mama. So I added more eggs onto her because in order for it to be worth it for me that they sit on their eggs, there has to be a minimum of 8. And then I imagine a season of like 3 months with tons of babies. And then we are going to put all the roosters in the freezer after 4 months. When they're 4 or 5 months old, we'll put all the roosters in the freezer, and hopefully we'll have a whole stock of hens for our next batch. I'm gonna put all the pullets. The pullets are the teenage chicks after they finish being with their mama for like 2 months. After they're 2 months old, they're all gonna go in this area. So I have to clean this all out, set it up. Meanwhile, everything from here goes to here, then goes out to where it belongs. So this is gonna be the pullet area where all the little chicks are gonna stay. Okay, next step in pond making. So what we're doing here is trying to even out the sides, because if you see, it's all bumpy and there are root particles and rocks coming out, so it'll be very hard to even out clay. So what they're doing is we're covering it all with a layer of, it's high particle clay, right? It's like mud without the rocks, but it's trying just to cover everything, and then it'll be easier to smear on the clay. This, what we're making here, the mixture is from this. This is all stuff that came out of the pond. He's taking out the bigger rocks and then mixing it with water and lining the pond. That's what's being done. And here we're doing, Hoodie's doing potatoes. So, all right, these potatoes are waiting here, and I think these potatoes are waiting here in my kitchen, and I think they're ready to go into the ground. They're starting to sprout, and that's all you need. Some of them are greener potatoes. I don't know. See, I wouldn't eat that potato, but I don't know if it's good for planting, but I'm going to use it anyway. These brown ones all have growing eyes on them, and some of them I cut in half and left for it to dry a bit, and we'll use those as well. He's making a trench. You did one already. No, I think it could be closer. It could be closer. Okay. So we're going to be planting the potatoes. And it's starting to look like an actual garden. Sunflowers in, sunflowers in. It's covered with a net that the birds shouldn't try to come and eat the sunflowers. Sunflowers in, that's waiting for sweet potato. There are 2 rows of potatoes that just got planted over there tonight. What else? Oh, pond. Look at this. Look how much they got done. So this is the first layer. We're just trying to even it out so it'll be easier to come with our clay layer. This is like the first kind of sealant. This is all experimental. I have no idea what I'm doing, but we're gonna try it. So this is half done. And then we think we're gonna do a water feature coming out from the side over there. A water feature falling, like a waterfall coming down. And here's my chair. I'm gonna sit here. See the pond, see the chickens, see the garden, and behind that fence is gonna be another thing I wanna see, but that's a surprise. We got ground cherries in over there tonight. Ground cherries. They grow like tomatoes, and they grow like tomatoes. So we're gonna cage it in. Tomorrow I'll bring some bamboo, and we'll stake them up. Show you something. See? Okay, this is my potato traps. And if you look inside the potato traps, what do we see? Pill bugs. There are 3 now. So it's working. The pill bugs are coming to the potatoes, and then I can just come and knock them into the water, and it's working. Let's see this one. Okay, the older the potato, the better. See that? They love the potatoes, so that has been working amazing for us.